Well, I already know some of you guys are way pickier than I am at this. I am not the guy to do wood. If you want it to look like crap, you have me do it. So the next thing is, but it'll look all right when it's all together. It looks pretty good. Yeah, it doesn't look like a museum piece, but again, it looks very cool when it's all together and done. So a lot of times you get too picky on one little thing and you tend to never finish it because you spend so much time on it. And then it's like my cousin. I remember back years ago, he was building his car. It took him so long to build it. By the time he got done with it, he wanted to sell it. So what good did that do, right? So anyway, I run through, checked them, made sure they fit, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paint these with a roller. And you guys are going to go, what? The original had like a wallpaper on it. Let's take a look at one. So if you look here, this is the texture. This is one of the original panels. And you can see they had like a wallpaper that's kind of peeling off of it. It's like a coating, like a, I'm trying to think of the other name, contact paper type of thing. Or it was wallpaper, one of the two. And then what it did is had this texture to it, right? Almost looked like a little bit of leather or something like that. And it was door panel material, which is slightly different than this masonite. If you look at the deluxe vans, they actually, the door panels had a wallpaper grade vinyl that was on the door panel. It was really thin, and it was very different than regular vinyl, like the replacement stuff you get for the vans is the regular stuff from Wolfsburg West or whatever is actually vinyl, and the original was like very thin wallpaper. So it's different. It's not exactly the same. That's why a lot of stuff doesn't fit as easy as it did on the original panels. So anyway, this is another original panel, which are very cool to have the original ones to pattern out to make them out of this. But I want them all made with the same material. Otherwise, I could put these original ones in and repaint them. I've done that before too, and done that with a roller, and it looks really nice with a Slim Jim roller. And then I use this primer here. So this primer, Vista Primer Seals All, what it is it is a water-based primer that turns to an oil. It's one of these hybrid type materials. I use them a lot. And it and so once it dries on your hands and stuff like that, you almost have to use like not paint thinner, that won't take it off, more like acetone to get it off your hands. So it's really super strong. It sticks really good. It's the closest thing to an oil-based primer. I used to do these in some of you guys in other states where you have oil-based primer. They have Cover Stain by Zinsser. That works too as a good primer for these. Those type of primers or this type are really fine. This is I guess this is this urethane, water-based epoxy. It's really good primer for this type of thing, and that's what I use now. I used to use the Cover Stain years ago when I was doing stuff, and it works really good too. And it leaves a nice mild texture on here that replicates to me that original look of the upholstery. In fact, if you really wanted to get some really nice door panels, let's say you wanted the nicest ones that look original, there's a woman on the Samba, Clara, and she cuts them out, and man, I tell you, I ordered a set from her once. I use them as patterns. I've made them myself since then. No offense to Clara, it's just, you know, the budgets I was working on when I was doing these was fairly low. So this was the best option, and I got a set from her, and they were cut perfect. I don't know what she uses to cut them. I think I have a friend of mine that's a cabinet maker, and he has a $100,000 saw. He puts in a pattern of what he's supposed to be, and he just puts the wood down on a conveyor, lets go of it, and the wood just slides in. It comes out stacked however it was supposed to be. It cuts it like perfect. So maybe they're using something like that. I really don't know. But Clara, whatever she does a great job making these. The other option is you can go with the guy who has the ABS panels. those plastic ones are really good too. I gotten those before. Maybe because the shipping cost getting them for Clara is kind of expensive. She's in Washington. If you're out that area, just look her up and she'll probably, and also I think Greg, if they're still together, I don't know. I bought a lot of stuff from them over the years, and they're good people to deal with in the Volkswagen world. So, but if you're looking for those, also the ABS guy has, those are really fantastic. I use those in the camper. They slide right in really easy because they're a little bit thinner than the original material. These are a little bit thicker than the original material, so it's a little bit harder to work with. The ABS ones I thought worked really good also, and they're not expensive either. I didn't think for the price, you know, they're cut very, very accurately as well. So, but this is the Mike's Poverty Special, how I do it myself, and it works great, and most people think it looks wonderful. Here's a set I did many years ago. I took these out and I painted them two-tone, and then I had the chrome on them, and it looked cool. People didn't, I'd walk up, open the doors up, people didn't even notice that they were painted with a roller. They just looked at them and, wow, that looks cool. They didn't even really notice they were not original. It took them a few minutes. So anyway, but for a combi, it's probably about the best way to go to have this type of material. You know, the cheapest way out for sure is got about $10 or less for a sheet of this stuff. So, and it does fit onto one sheet, barely. Another thing real quick I wanted to mention, I normally tint my primer near to the color. Then I'm going to paint, because if it, not that this won't chip off, this will actually adhere really well. This actually adheres better than even the paint adheres to this better than the oil base. That's why I like using this. So anyway, I can't do this with my left hand. I'll let you guys watch over here. Alright, so here's what we ended up with on these. Just a hair darker than the original. The original was pretty faded. Tried to find a spot on there that was close and just got a rough match. Should be good when we put them in. Check it out. Sample. Still got to take it back out. All the mechanisms worked. Took them all apart. Cleaned it. Had to sandblast everything. Did a matte polish to this, like original. Not really shiny. We didn't really want to go there. Too much work. And it just ends up being dull in a little while anyway. So just trying to make it look clean and new. And not fingerprint is easy. So we have to take them back out still, and then take these screws out, and then put silicone all the way around here, and then put the screws back in, and then it'll keep it from leaking between the aluminum and the thing there, and also the screws won't come loose if they've got silicone on the threads. So anyway, we'll do that and put them back in. Take a look at those later in the video. All right, you guys ready for the frustrating part about Volkswagens? It's the wonderful parts issues. So if you look here, these are front spacers. Let me give you little guys a little closer. Yeah, did I focus you wrong? There we go. And if you see here, these are front spacers. And in the rear kit, I got one front spacer and one rear. And the rear's a little bit shorter than the front. And this is from Wolfsburg West. I mean, they do have the best parts. They do make mistakes. And I think what they do is they get a new person to do these bolt kits. And that might not be the greatest idea, because it's, you know, I got right here. Oh, maybe that one's the right size. I had to rob one from the front to get the rear. If you look here, these bolts are wrong. They were wrong in the front, on the front kit. They should have been like this size, I think. Oops, that's like 15 millimeters too long or something like that. And then in the back kit too, you got these bolts right here. I brought these in. Here's the original ones. Original was a 20. I only had 25, so I have these laying around. And they gave us 30s. So another big screw up. I mean, yeah, that might work, you know, but you have just the threads will go all the way in there. But sometimes, you know, the threads will go in so far and it'll actually poke, you know, put a dent in the outside of that bumper. If you're doing a show car or something like that, you'd be a little bit pissed off. Have to repaint the bumper over it, right? So that's just, you know, the thing is, you know, with VW parts, a lot of things, they don't go through the normal QC that a big company goes through. Because like a bunch of different VW guys go in on a run of parts from China or wherever, you know, Taiwan. And nobody's able to really QC it because everybody's going in on it. Yeah, because there just isn't enough to do a big order. So they're just as limited stuff. I mean, I don't know why they just don't say screw it and just go right to American companies. I bet they could probably get it done for about the same price, you know, and have something that's QC'd, maybe. I don't know. I don't run the parts business. I just put the stuff on, and it's really frustrating. So now, after I went to get a bolt kit that's supposed to have all the right bolts, I've got to go now to a closer place, a bolt supply, and get what I need, because these will not work. The spacers, these are too long. When these spacers are too long, then these things here will stand out, you know, too far from the bumper. So it's got to be right. VWs are so picky. Everything has to be exactly correct or it won't work. All right, so I'll go get some bolts and I'll bring you guys back in. Got to get the marks off it. All right, so let's take a look how these turned out. You know, normally the 67 they have the button clips along here all the way around. To do those is kind of a pain because you have to drill the holes all exactly in the right spot, and then you got to buy them. They're 85 cents a piece. We have some original ones, but they were kind of rusty, you know, so versus doing that, we decided to, you know, you could probably find a universal one from an earlier, like a Model A or something like that, probably work. But we decided to go with these, like the earlier models. This is a finishing washer stainless, and a stainless or nickel-plated finishing washer, and a stainless screw. They're self-drilling number 6s. I just buy them in bulk. So right after you put this door panel on, of course, what happened? The turn signal relay stopped working, so we had to pull that back off. So that one's off right now. Let's take a look at the other side. Got these in place. It's kind of like they got handprints all over them. We used a house paint on the door panels that's washable. Works really good. So that's a washable satin. I actually made the color with scrap paint I had laying around. I actually do that a lot for business. I make a lot of my colors on site. I do color matching, and I'm pretty darn good at it. Not bad. This is like the original color, but a little bit, just slightly darker. The original was hard to tell because it was actually faded. So we went the corner, the part that kind of tucks in up under here. We looked at the color that we found from that and got it pretty close, just a little bit darker than that. It probably was very close to this originally. So the bumpers on, we still need to clean them. They got a little bit of stuff I got to clean off, whatever. Maybe even some scratches, you never know. And then I got this on here. I need to repolish the sides a little bit. Oh, I had these. I hate these seals. These are the ones. I think Wolfsburg West sell these. And I don't know where we got them from. Maybe it was from West Coast Metric. But you almost have to slam it because it's so tight. Not like the original ones. I used to get the bay window ones, and then I just cut them to fit in the corners, but they're not available right now. A little bit of trouble getting stuff from Brazil. A little bit of trouble. Engine cases are kind of a screwed up thing. I'm getting these put in right now. Just putting those in. I think they're just going in temporarily, right?
Yeah, we're just hanging them right now so we don't break them.
Yeah, we're just putting them in place just so we don't drop them or move them around and break them. We just still take them back out and then put the screws in. All the mechanisms work. It's pretty darn cool. They have a nice looking glass. Again, from the guy from North Carolina. Thank you very much for selling us these. And he, I do pay for them. I paid regular price. I didn't get any special deal. I don't usually do that. I don't need to. So tries to help out the community best I can. But we got these. We got the paint. We're gonna have to run through here and do a repolish on it. There's always stuff you miss. I got some corners and edges I might want to sand a little bit more. I don't know. I'm just going to kind of go through it and recheck it. And then we'll be doing the unveil here pretty soon. As we get the windows in, then we can wash it. And then we'll put the Safari windows in. I got to do that still. Probably catch that in the next video. Just got to put the rest of the screws in. They're just kind of setting in there right now. Just kind of setting in place. So I got to put the rest of the screws in. That's how the emblem looks there. Helps out, doesn't it? Nothing like having an emblem with bumpers on it. Yeah, it looks cool. All right, you guys. I still got to do the headlights. I got the headlights. I just got to put them in. Headlight bulbs. So, all right. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'll keep watching. We got more stuff coming on this van as it gets done.